Prince Eugene was short in stature. He had a hunchback, and he was sickly. Prince Eugene lived in the royal court of King Louis XIV in France. And hardly anybody noticed him. One day, Prince Eugene asked King Louis if he could enlist in the French army, and King Louis paid no attention to him. He ignored him. When he was about 40 years old, Prince Eugene left France and went to Austria, and he enlisted in the Austrian army, and he became a pain in the neck to Louis XIV as Eugene became commander-in-chief of the Austrian army. And even King Louis would remark, Eugene has become one of the finest commanders in the world at that time. Now, what does Prince Eugene have to do with Bartimaeus in the gospel? You might well be asking. This. They both had disadvantages. Bartimaeus was a blind man, and he was a beggar. These were days before schools for the blind, or Braille, or seeing eye dogs, talking books, cornea transplants. If you were born blind in Jesus' day, you probably would end up being a beggar on the streets. And he was also someone that was disregarded. I mean, how much attention do we like to pay to people who are begging on the streets? He went unnoticed, disregarded. And even his name in the gospel, he's known as Bartimaeus. B-A-R in Hebrew means son of. He was the son of Timaeus. We don't even know his first name. That's like somebody saying today, you know, the Smith girl, the Jones boy. How impersonal. There was a family that discovered a cat that had run away, and they put a notice in the newspaper looking for the owners. And the description they gave was found. One cat, mostly brown, but with a white face and white paws, and answers to the name, "Go away." That was like Timaeus' boy, the blind beggar. But people just wanted to say to him, "Go away." Bartimaeus had his disadvantages, but so do we. We all have disadvantages in life. They might be physical, or mental, or emotional, or attitudinal. Sometimes even privileges can be disadvantages because privileges can keep us from getting strengthened to face the hard things in life. There was a plant manager that had a sign on his office door, and it read, "If you have problems, come in and talk with me. If you don't have problems, come in and tell me how you're doing it." Bartimaeus had problems, disadvantages. He was disregarded, but he was determined to meet Jesus. And the gospel says he sat at the side of the road, hoping to meet Jesus. And Jesus comes along, and he shouts out, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And what does the crowd do to him? What they've been doing to him up to that point. Shush, be quiet, go away. But Bartimaeus doesn't stop. He shouts all the louder, "Son of David, have pity on me." And the gospel says Jesus heard him and said to the crowd, "Call him." Notice how the court of public opinion shifts. The very people that had been telling him to shush now say to him, "Bartimaeus, come on, Jesus wants to talk to you." And Bartimaeus responded quickly. Gospel says he jumped up, he dropped his cloak, and he hurried to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "Bartimaeus, what do you want me to do for you?" "Master, I want to see." Now, I highlight Jesus' question to Bartimaeus for all of us. If Jesus were to ask you right now, "What do you want me to do for you?" what would you tell him? What is your deepest need at this very moment? What do you want me to do for you? I really don't think any of us would ask Jesus that we be the richest people in the world, or that we have the biggest houses, or that we can take 2 major vacations every single month. Nice thoughts, but those aren't our deepest needs. What is yours? Bartimaeus knew what his was. Jesus said, "Bartimaeus, what do you want me to do for you?" And right away he answered, "Master, I want to see." And Jesus says to him, "Your faith has saved you." And he recovered his sight. He could see. Now, I have a hunch that not only did Jesus heal Bartimaeus' eyesight, he also healed his heart. Because Bartimaeus had suffered not only from his blindness, but also from the cruelty of the crowd, who didn't want to notice him, who didn't want him to be around. "Timaeus' boy, go away." When Jesus gave Bartimaeus his sight, he also healed Bartimaeus' heart to receive love and to give love. Bartimaeus could see clearly, and he also realized that he was a worthwhile person before Jesus. Jesus called him to be his follower. And the gospel finishes by saying, Bartimaeus followed Jesus on the way. Bartimaeus had his disadvantages, but he was determined to meet Jesus Christ and tell him what he needed. And he took advantage of that opportunity when Jesus asked him. During this Mass, Jesus will ask that same question of you and of me. Somewhere during this Mass, he will say to each one of us, "And what can I do for you?" Listen to him with faith and with courage. Tell him.